Okay, the park, part 3, our practice task. Back to the original picture. I think we know some of these things, we've worked them out as well. Now the question talks about putting a curved path in the shape of an arc from the side AB, so from this side here to the side BC. So we want to do an arc that goes around something like that. We've got a budget of $850 in total. We're going to put paving stones around the path only from that $850, and we're also told that the flower bed costs $25 a square metre. So what we'll do is we'll just introduce a variable. Let's use x to stand for the radius, if you like, of that sector. X can be the radius of that sector. Now if we were to work out the area of the sector, and then of course we want the arc length as well, we know that the angle has to be in radians, and to change from degrees to radians we times by pi over 180. So you can do that now and use the decimal. Some of us like to do that during our working, so let's think about how we'd work out the area. The area would be 1/2 times the radius squared times the angle, which is going to be 92.4 times pi over 180. And then the cost of the flower bed, once I've worked out the area, it says the flower bed costs $25 a square metre, so we just have to multiply that by 25. And that would give me the cost of filling in the flower bed. It's a dollar sign there. We can make that neater for ourselves by multiplying everything that's a number in there. So for example, 0.5 times 92.4 times pi divided by 180 times 25 gives me a big long number, something like 20.158. And then I've got the x squared. So that's an expression for the area. Now let's think about the arc length, which is just the radius times the angle, but it has to be in radians. Now once I've got that, we're told that the paving stones are 25 centimetres in length, so once again we'll divide by 0.25, and they cost $4 each, so once I've got that answer I'll need to times it by 4. Right, if we do, that's changing the centimetres to metres. If we do the same thing we did up above, 92.4 times pi divided by 180 equals, I'd be pushing equals on that, close the bracket, divided by 0.25 and then times 4. Once again we end up with a big number like 25.80, and I've still got the x. Right, so that's the cost of the flower bed, the area part, that's the cost of the stones in the arc, and together those two there, my budget is $850, they have to add up to $850. So what we want to solve, 20.158 x squared plus 25.802x equals 850. Now you can choose to solve that by hand, it's just a quadratic. You might choose to solve it on the calculator using equation or solver or polynomial degree 2. Whichever way you do it, you come out with 5.884 metres to 3 decimal places. Right, so now it would be a good time to prove that that's a good value to have and that we come in under budget. So let's choose, I'm going to choose 5.88 metres radius for that sector. Right, so then you need to go back and repeat the calculations up above, but everywhere there's an x up here, we're going to put 5.88 into that expression, and I get a cost, the area cost, to be 689. And when I work out the stones, putting 5.88 into that formula there, working out how many stones I need, $4 each stone, I get a value of 150. And adding those together comes to a total cost of $840.57, which is about $10 under budget, which looks pretty good. You can also do this question with trial and error by perhaps, you'd need to do a few examples though. You'd need to trial perhaps using x equals 10, work out the cost. You could trial x equals 15, x equals 5, and try and get closer that way as well.